Hi guys. So I thought today in this beautiful weather I'd bring you another Flat Stanley chapter. I'm sitting outside. I'm not at my house today. As you can tell, this is not my porch, but I'm at another job that I have. I do something called respite care. It's kind of like babysitting, but it's where I help a little girl who needs some help. Her parents need some help getting her some childcare. And she just needs a little extra help, more than typical kids. So that's what I'm doing right now. So she might walk out here in a minute. She is resting. But I thought while I was sitting out here taking a rest, I could read you some Flat Stanley. So the last chapter we left off on was chapter 5. And Lily and Stanley had found their friend Oda Nobu, and he was part of Hollywood, and he was going to be the one videoing their escape from Alcatraz. Okay, so chapter 6 was called Hitting the Beach. Here it is. Less than 24 hours remained until the escape. There was only one thing left to do: practice. Oda Nobu, Stanley, and Lily huddled in the back of the Fox's family van as it raced up Highway 1 along the Pacific coast from Los Angeles toward San Francisco. On one wall of the van hung the blueprint of Alcatraz. Remember, we said blueprint was like the plan of the building, so they could see all of the different rooms. Stanley practiced slipping his head through the slit in the partition to the front seat without Dr. Fox and his father noticing. Lily picked a lock while wearing a blindfold. Oda Nobu went over his script. His agent had informed the networks that both he and his wife, the famed matador Carmen Del Junco, would be appearing at Fisherman's Wharf in San Francisco to make a shocking announcement at exactly 7:15 tomorrow evening. A matador is one of those people who fights bulls. The press was already aflutter with rumors that the international celebrity couple might be breaking up, so they must be famous. Suddenly, the van stopped. Dr. Fox opened the back doors, and sunlight streamed in. Stanley heard the crashing of waves. A sign pointing back in the direction they came read Santa Barbara. "The beach here is deserted," Dr. Fox announced. "Stanley, Lily, it's time for a test flight." Once Stanley squeezed into his flight suit, Oda Nobu looked at him admiringly. "That is the finest ninja suit I have ever seen." Stanley puffed out his chest. "Nice, huh?" Stanley sat on the sand while Dr. Fox fiddled with the extra fine wires that would attach him to the escapist, also known as the wheelchair Lily was using. There's a picture of them on the beach. He's got his suit on. Doesn't look like he's attached to Lily yet. His suit turned light beige to match the sand. Oda Nobu gasped and announced that he must have one. Also, he added, "Carmen could use such a suit for her bullfights. She would be invincible." Stanley grinned at the thought of the bullfighting with Carmen, as he had in Mexico. Finally, they were ready. Stanley's father said, "Stanley, I want you to be careful. Lily's safety is in your hands." Stanley nodded nervously. He hadn't thought of it that way before, and it made him nervous. After all, it wasn't so long ago that he'd been terrified of the wind while driving through a wind farm in Texas. But then, too, he had put fear aside to help his friends. Now it was time to help Lily. Up ahead, she slowly rolled to the edge of the water, and Stanley followed. Before them, a giant wave crested and crashed. The white foam licked Stanley's feet and the bottom of the escapist's wheels. "Lily," said Stanley, "you're going to have to throw me really hard to get me up in the air. It has to be like when my little brother Arthur threw me in Australia, like you're throwing a boomerang." Lily took his hands. "Stanley," she said, taking a deep breath, "let's blow this taco stand." And she heaved him into the air with all her might. Stanley spread out his arms, and the wind found him at once. It was as if he'd been hit by a rocket. "Whoa!" he cried, bursting through one wisp of cloud and then another. Suddenly, he stopped rising and leveled out.